Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How's life? I hope everything is pretty good, right? Well, in this video, I am Mayang Wibawati with my partner.
And I'm Yulia Dwi Kartika. Hello!
So yeah, today we are going to explain you about types of phrases. Well, without any further ado, let's jump into the material. So yeah, the first material is noun phrase. A noun phrase consists of a noun and other related words, usually modifiers and determiners, which modify the noun. It functions like a noun in a sentence. A noun phrase consists of a noun as the head word and other words, usually modifiers and determiners, which come after or before the noun. The whole phrase works as a noun in a sentence.
Well, this is the pattern of noun phrase. You can see that the pattern is consist of optional modifiers plus noun plus optional modifiers again. So yeah, noun phrase can be simply formed from noun and modifiers. The modifiers can be after or before noun. The modifiers that in the position before noun is called pre-modifiers. Pre-modifiers can also include determiners. For the example, in the sentence, those houses are very expensive. And then quantifiers. In the example, a lot of. In the sentence, I've lived in a lot of houses. And then numbers. For the example, 2, in the sentence, my brother owns 2 houses, and the last is adjectives. In the example, old, in the sentence, I love old houses. And then we have post modifiers. Post modifiers is the modifiers that in the position after noun. And then we have prepositional phrases, ing phrases, relative clauses, and to infinitives on the post modifiers. And the next is the modifiers that in the position after noun is called post modifiers. Post modifiers can be prepositional phrases. In the example, with the gun, in the sentence, a man with a gun, and then ing phrases. In the example, standing over there, in the sentence, the man standing over there, and then relative clauses. In the example, that Jack built, in the sentence, the house that Jack built. And then to infinitives, in the example, to wear, in the sentence, I've got no decent shoes. And as we know that there may be more than one post modifier. For the example, an 8-year-old boy with a gun who tried to rob a sweet shop, and that girl over there in the green dress drinking a Coke. Yeah, the example of modifier is in the word that bolded. And as we know that there may be more than one post modifier. For the example, an 8-year-old boy with a gun who tried to rob a sweet shop. The modifier that consists of the sentence is with a gun who tried to rob a sweet shop. And then we have another examples of a noun phrase. The first example is, he is wearing a nice red shirt. A nice red shirt is a noun phrase. And then the second, we have, she brought a glass full of water. A glass full of water is a noun phrase. And then the boy with brown hair is laughing. The boy with brown hair is a noun phrase. And then we have the last sentence, a man on the roof was shouting. A man on the roof is a noun phrase. So yeah, a sentence can also contain more one noun phrase. For example, the girl with blue eyes bought a beautiful chair. In the sentence, the girl with blue eyes and a beautiful chair is a noun phrase.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you about prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase is a phrase consisting of a preposition and an object of the preposition. At the minimum, a prepositional phrase will begin with a preposition and end with a noun, gerund, pronoun, or clause as the object of the preposition. The object of the preposition will often have one or more modifiers to describe it. Okay, let's go to know about the patterns of prepositional phrase. The pattern of prepositional phrase. The first is preposition plus noun or pronoun or gerund or clause. And then the next pattern is preposition plus modifiers plus noun or pronoun or gerund or clause. And the next, the form of a prepositional phrase are preposition single and preposition complex. Preposition single such as since, after, to, without, between, with, in, through, by, unlike, and for. And then preposition complex such as next to, in front of, as for, because of, along with, due to, according to, and the last, in case for. Okay, for the example, preposition plus noun. He came on time. On time. On is preposition and time is noun. For the next example, preposition plus pronoun plus modifier. The woman is walking with someone strong. With is preposition, someone is pronoun, and strong is modifier. And then the next about the function of preposition phrase. The first, as an adjective. As an adjective, the prepositional phrase will answer the question, which one? For the example, the spider above the kitchen sink has just caught a fat flea. Which spider? Spider is the one above the kitchen sink. And then the second function, as an adverb. As an adverb, a prepositional phrase will answer questions such as how, when, or where. For the example, while sitting in the cafeteria, Jack catapulted peas with a spoon. How did Jack launch those peas? The answer is with a spoon. And the next, after breakfast, we built the dirty dishes in the sink. When did we ignore the dirty dishes? The answer is after breakfast. That's the examples of prepositional phrase. Okay, for the next, let's know about infinitive phrase. Infinitive phrase is a phrase that will begin with an infinitive that is to plus simple form of the verb. It will often include objects or modifiers that complete the thought. Okay, next, let's know about the pattern. The pattern of infinitive phrase. Infinitive plus objects and or modifiers. For the example, the first, to send the document before the deadline. To send is infinitive, and the document before the deadline is the object. And then the second, to serve spaghetti. To serve is infinitive, and then spaghetti is an object. And then about the function of infinitive phrase. The first, as an adverb. This infinitive phrase, which has an adverb function, has the job of explaining the verb, where it can be located at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. For the example, Rian moved the long grass to keep his neighbors from complaining to the homeowners association. To keep his neighbors from complaining to the homeowners association is a verb. So why Rian moved the lawn. And then the second, as an adjective. The infinitive phrase, which has an adjective function, serves to explain a noun, where the infinitive phrase is also responsible for following the noun previously explained. For example, the word's expression to see on that face is disappointment. To see on that face is adjective because that's describing expression. And then the next function is as a noun. An infinitive phrase that has a noun function has a position as subject, predicate, or object. For the example, first, to climb mountains is difficult. To climb mountains is a noun as a subject. And then the second example, Carol plans to take microbiology next semester when Professor Krom, a pushover, is teaching the course. To take microbiology next semester is a noun that is direct object for the verb of plans. Okay, that's the explanation about infinitive phrase. Okay, for the next phrase is about participle phrase. A participle phrase will begin with a present or past participle. If the participle is present, it will dependably end in ing. In the other hand, a regular past participle will end in a consistent ed. Since all phrases require two or more words, a participle phrase will often include objects and or modifiers that complete the thought. Okay, let's know about the pattern of participle phrase. Okay, let's know about the pattern of participle phrase. The pattern is participle plus objects and or modifiers. For the example, flexing his muscles in front of the bathroom mirror. So flexing is participle and his muscle in front of the bathroom mirror is the modifiers. And then ripped from a spiral ring notebook. Ripped here is a participle, past participle, and then from a spiral ring notebook is modifiers of ripped. And then the third, driven crazy by grandma's endless questions. driven here is past participle, and crazy by grandma's and those question is modifiers. And then for the next, the function of participle phrase. Participle phrase has a function as an adjective. Participle phrases always function as adjectives, adding descriptions to the sentence. Example: first, the store clerk lining up cartons of orange juice made sure the expiration date faced the back of the cooler. Here, lining up cartons of orange juice is the modifiers of the noun of clerk. And then the second, Elijah likes his eggs smothered in cheese sauce. Smothered in cheese sauce, modifiers of the noun eggs. Okay, that's the explanation about participle phrase for past participle or present participle. Okay, for the next, let's know about a gerund phrase. A gerund is a verb which changes the function to a noun. A gerund phrase will begin with a gerund in word and will often include the other objects or the modifiers. Gerund phrases are formed exactly like the present participle phrase, but the difference lies in the function of the phrase. A gerund phrase always function as a noun, so they become the subject, complement to the subject, or the object in the sentence. Okay, for the next information about gerund phrase, let's know about the pattern of gerund phrase. Okay, let's know about the pattern of gerund phrase. The pattern is gerund plus objects or modifiers. For example, first, being a mother. Being is gerund and a mother is object. And then the second, walking on the mountain. Walking is gerund and on the mountain is modifiers of walking. And then getting the best score. Getting is gerund, the best score is modifiers. Okay, let's know about the function of gerund phrase. There are three functions of gerund phrase. The first is as an subject of the verb. For the example, being a mother is not easy. Being a mother. That is the phrase of gerund phrase as subject of verb is. So the function is as a subject of the verb is. And then second, as a subject complement. For the example, a good strategy for avoiding dirty dishes is eating every meal of paper towels. Eating every meal of paper towels is a subject complement of the verb is. Okay, jadi that is subject complement. And then the third, as an object. Susie tried holding the slippery trout, but the fish slipped out of her hand and splashed back into the stream. Holding the slippery trout. That is the direct object of the verb tried. Okay, so that is object, direct object of that sentence. Okay, that's about the function of gerund phrase and the example.
Alright, for the next we have verb phrase. Sometimes a sentence can communicate its meaning with a one-word verb. Other times, however, a sentence will use a verb phrase, a multi-word verb, to express more than one action or condition. A verb phrase can have up to 4 parts. This is the pattern of verb phrase. As we can see, the pattern consists of auxiliary verbs plus main verb and plus verb ending if necessary. And here are the examples. The first example is had cleaned. Had as auxiliary verb, clean as main verb, and ending ed as verb ending. And then the second example we have should have been writing. Should have been as auxiliary verbs, write as main verb, ing as verb ending. And then the third example we have must wash. Must as auxiliary verb and wash as main verb. And then for the next we have adverb phrase. An adverb phrase is a group of words that functions as an adverb in a sentence. It consists of adverbs or other words such as preposition, noun, verb, or modifiers that make a group with a word like an adverb in a sentence. An adverb phrase functions like an adverb to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Here is the pattern of adverb phrase. As we can see, the pattern consists of adverb of degree plus had adverb. For the example, we have 5 examples. The first example is he always behaves in a good manner. The adverb phrase in this sentence modifies verb behave. And then they were shouting in a loud voice. In a loud voice is the adverb phrase. And she always drives with care. With care is the adverb phrase. He sat in the corner of the room. In the corner of the room is an adverb phrase. He returned in a short while. In a short while is an adverb phrase. So yeah, a prepositional phrase can also act as an adverb phrase. For example, in above sentence, he always behaves in a good manner. The phrase in a good manner is a prepositional phrase, but it acts as adverb phrase here. For the next is the function of adverb phrase. The first function is to modify verbs. In the example, the adverb phrases are in bold. The verbs that they modify are underlined. For the example, children grow up really quickly. Grow up is the verbs and really quickly is the adverb. And then the second, we use adverb phrases with be. This is especially typical of adverbs of place. For the example, I am upstairs. And then the third, to modify adjectives and other adverbs. For the example, I found it extremely difficult to talk to her. And fourth, to modify noun phrases and prepositional phrases. For the example, that's quiet a tree. And the last, to modify determiners, especially words like all, some, half, many. For the example, only half of my friends could come to my party. Alright, for the last is adjective phrase. An adjective phrase is a group of words that describe a noun or pronoun in a sentence. The adjective in an adjective phrase can appear at the start and or in the middle of the phrase. The adjective phrase can be placed before or after the noun or pronoun in the sentence. An adjective phrase is a group of words that functions like an adjective in a sentence. It consists of adjectives, modifier, and any word that modifies a noun or pronoun. For the example, the first, he is wearing a nice red shirt. The second, the girl with brown hair is singing a song. He gave me a glass full of water. And the last is a boy from America won the race. An adjective phrase functions like an adjective to modify or tell about a noun or a pronoun in a sentence. Prepositional phrases and participle phrases is also function as adjectives, so we can also call them adjective phrases when they function as adjectives. In the above sentence, the girl with brown hair is singing a song. The phrase with brown hair is a prepositional phrase, but it functions as an adjective.
Alright, that's all our explanation today about kinds of phrase. Hope you can enjoy it.
If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask us anytime.
Thanks for watching.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.